Today, we're diving into a 900-year-old story that's part epic adventure and, well, part roadmap to enlightenment. It's called Haft Peykar, or the Seven Beauties, and it follows one king's incredible journey to understand not his kingdom, but himself. So, let's meet the hero of our story. Bahram Gur, a legendary Sasanian king from 12th century Iran. He is the classic hunter king, a real man of action, and his name is even tied to the ancient god of victory. But here's where the poem gets really interesting. It's asking a much deeper question. This isn't just about a king's adventures. It's about his transformation. How does a guy famous for his physical strength and hunting skills grow into a ruler known for wisdom and justice? That's the real journey of the Haft Peykar. So when we first meet Bahram, he's a hero in the most classic sense. He proves he has the right to rule by snatching the royal crown from between two actual wild lions. But the poem doesn't just leave it there. It follows his path from being this one-dimensional man of action to becoming a truly wise, compassionate, and just leader. And his guide on this journey, it isn't a person, but the poem itself. The Haft Peykar, written by the great Nizami Ganjavi, is so much more than a story. It's kind of like an architectural blueprint for the soul, an allegorical romance that shows the path to human perfection. Now, this is where things get really cool. The poem's real genius is all in its structure. It's not just a random series of stories. It's a kind of cosmic architecture for the soul, a map that's designed to guide the king, and us, toward enlightenment. So get this. The framework is just brilliant. Bahram marries 7 princesses from 7 different lands. Then he builds 7 domes for them, each one a different color. And each week he visits one princess in her dome, on the specific day associated with that dome's planet and color. And every single visit, she tells him a story designed to teach him a really important ethical lesson. Nizami created this incredibly complex system where color, cosmology, and psychology all lock together. The journey starts in the black of Saturn, which represents the unconscious and, a state of ignorance. From there, Bahar moves through a whole spectrum of experiences and colors, from the fiery red of Mars to the peaceful white of Venus, which stands for purity. It's a beautiful, symbolic journey from darkness into light. Okay, so how do these domes actually, work? Well, it's all through stories. Each princess tells a tale that's not just there to entertain him, but to teach him. These are really carefully crafted lessons in philosophy and ethics. To really get how this spiritual level up works, let's look at 3 key stops on his journey: the very beginning, a crucial midpoint, and the final destination. This arc shows his transformation perfectly, from facing illusion in the Black Dome all the way to reaching purity in the White One. His spiritual quest kicks off right here, in the Black Dome. Nizami describes it as a place that's super luxurious but totally wrapped in darkness, a perfect symbol for the human unconscious. This is Bahram's starting line, a state of deep ignorance. So, inside this dark dome, the Indian princess tells him a story about a king who is completely obsessed with illusions, literally unable to see what's real. The lesson here is pretty profound. The first step to becoming wise is learning to look past appearances and start questioning your own perceptions. Okay, moving on. We get to the red dome of Mars, where the Princess Nekharine tells a story. On the surface, it seems to be about a suitor solving riddles to win her hand, but it's actually a brilliant lesson in cosmic harmony, one that's rooted in the mathematical laws of the universe itself. And here is where the poem's influence gets just incredible. This very tale, told back in 12th century Persia, is the oldest known version of the story that would, centuries later, go on to inspire one of the world's most famous operas, Puccini's Turandot. Wild, right? So one of the main riddles in her story comes down to this simple ratio, 2 to 3. But it's not random at all. It actually represents the perfect musical fifth in Pythagorean harmonics. So what's the lesson for Bahram? Well, it's that a harmonious marriage here on Earth is just a reflection of the perfect mathematical harmony of the entire cosmos. And the whole journey builds to this final stop, the 7th pavilion, the White Dome. This is the spiritual destination tied to Venus, and it symbolizes purity, knowledge, and transcendence. Here, the Princess of Khwarezm tells a quiet, thoughtful story about a seeker's quest for truth. And here's another parallel that is just fascinating, this time with Western literature. The story features two maiden guides who lead the seeker towards perfection. You can't help but think of Beatrice guiding Dante through paradise in his Divine Comedy. It just goes to show this universal theme, the idea that wisdom is often found through a higher guiding presence. So, a 900-year-old poem, why are we still talking about it? Well, because its legacy absolutely exploded far beyond the written page. I mean, you can just imagine how this visual journey from darkness to light became this huge source of inspiration for artists. They were totally captivated by the poem's powerful symbolism, that contrast between the dark, mysterious black dome of the unconscious and the final, brilliant white dome that just radiates clarity and spiritual harmony. Seriously, its influence is everywhere. You see it in these priceless gold-illuminated manuscripts, in the design of palaces and courts, and in countless miniature paintings. And of course, you can literally hear it on the opera stage in Turandot. It's a timeless story because its themes, the search for self-knowledge, are completely universal. So in the end, Nizami kind of leaves us with this final piece of wisdom. A story can be beautiful on the outside, sure, but its real treasure, its pith, as he calls it, is what's hidden inside. It's an invitation for all of us to look deeper, to find the wisdom hidden in the stories we encounter. The only real question is, what will you find?